Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you?
Fine, sir. You?
Fine, fine. खाना खा लिया? थोड़ी देर रुकते हैं. वो तुम्हारा घर कहाँ पे था?
जरूर सर, धुबरी डिस्ट्रिक्ट सर.
ओके. तो अभी वेदर कैसा है वहाँ पे? बतौर.
हाँ सर, आसे वाले.
बारिश दिया कि नहीं?
किस सर? हेलो.
बरबन.
सर मैं नेटवर्क का बालको गंपो ना गए सर.
ओके ओके
सर की कले?
ओके, ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं.
ओके सर.
हाँ. Okay, so we'll be talking about importance of forest resources. First one, and like main thing is that out of the total population of the world population is about 7.8 billion. 7.8 billion population. So out of this 7.8 billion, around 2 billion, that's around 2 billion, around 2 billion people directly rely on these resources, or for directly rely on forest resource out of 7.8 billion people. Okay. So what are the importance? Point wise, we'll just give. It's very simple. You can add your own points, also very simple. So It's not that कि यही points तुमको लिखना है, यही points तुमको follow करना है. If you want, you can write your own. It's because it's very simple. You don't have to study in, I mean, like, and then you can make your own points. खुद भी बना सकते हो based on how much you know about this. Okay. So, first is an important source of renewable resources. It is an important source of renewable resources. Renewable resource, like for all those wood, timber, and other sources of energy that we have. So that is a source. Simple. I don't think I have to say more about this point. Okay, it's fairly simple. Then plays an important role. Important role in ecosystem. So it's an important role in the ecosystem. The ecosystem, or the place where all the plants, animals, and other organisms, they interact, interaction hota hai, and where there is the exchange of, and let's say in simple terms we can say exchange of energy. Okay, directly or indirectly, it's ultimately the exchange of energy that is happening. So this interaction where that takes place, the forest are also an integral part of this interaction where it is happening. Okay, so it has this major role in the ecosystem, and then it is necessary for ecological balance. Okay, it's also necessary for the overall balance of the ecosystem, or the ecological balance. Okay. Next we can say that it the quality of environment is quality of environment good, and also checks pollution. Environment quality, maybe it may enhance or it may keep it in the balance level, and also plays a role in the checking of pollution, or maintaining, or reducing the effects of pollution. Okay. Next, it has roles in, first is soil. We have roles in soil conservation. Then there is prevention of soil erosion, and ultimately landslides and all. Okay, it has roles in soil conservation. Then we have soil erosion and landslides. So how it protects from soil erosion and all? The roots, or plants which have very deep roots, they hold the soil very tightly together. So this holding of the soil keeps it from eroding away. Okay, so that is the simple logic. That is why where lots of construction works in hilly areas, or where there's a lot of cutting of land, landslides are naturally, or landslides ultimately occur because there is no place or no force to hold that hold those load of soil. So that's why ultimately it will during rain, it will the soil will get loose and obviously fall off, okay, in the form of landslides. So here the forests are having the main role, okay. That is 0.5, and then for 0.6 we can say that it has a role in economic development. Has a role in economic development because even like in the year 19, like let's say in the year 1990, as far as I know, around 1 point something of the uh, gross domestic products were from such kind of resources, okay. So they have role in economic development because there are certain products or certain industries that rely on these resources. Now the growth of these industries, they are solely dependent on how much of these resources are available. So the more availability, the more the growth of these industries or people who are relying on this resource. And ultimately, if we look at the overall scene, then it will lead to better development of the economy, or at least to the development of the economy to some level when we consider it in for the overall country, okay. Then we can say that yes, it attracts rainfall. It attracts rainfall. How does it attract rainfall? Because they help in this condensation of the water vapor. Rain, the rain that we get, it is ultimately the condensation of water vapor, or when the water vapor in the air they condense, they form rain and they fall back down to the earth. So the forest, they play a major role in this condensation part, okay, of water vapor. So it attracts rainfall because they play a role in condensation water vapor in the air. Then here if you I can say a little bit about hailstorm and all. Rainfall is the product of condensation of water vapor. What about hailstorms? Hailstorm जो बर्फ बन के जो गिरता है, how it forms. How it forms actually is that when let's say at high altitude, the condensation has already happened, and let's say there is a high speed wind, very high speed wind that is happening over there in the clouds. Now if some amount of those condensed water vapor, they are carried higher up at a very large speed and in a very quick manner by this very strong wind, then what happens is that it directly turns into ice. Now once it turns into ice, its weight increases and it falls down back to the earth as hailstorm, okay. So that is how the hailstorms are formed. Two main reasons. First is not two main reasons, I'll just say one, okay, let's say two main reasons. One reason is because of high speed winds. Second reason is the high speed winds, they will carry those condensed water vapor very higher up in the atmosphere, to a very higher than normal altitude, and then it will result in the formation of that ice. Okay. Then we can say it gives water for cattle. Okay. गाय, भैंस, बकरी, okay, cattle, unka khana, we can get it from there. Okay. Then it gives employment opportunities. Employment opportunities. How it gives employment opportunities? Because from the various industries that are dependent on this, like timber industries, wood industries, paper industry, we have a lot of such industries. There is food industry also, medicinal industry also, that are dependent on this. So it gives employment opportunities as well. So it gives employment opportunities from the various industries that rely on products like food, timber, etc. Then we have after oceans, we call something called the storehouse of carbon, because this plants are actually storehouses of carbon. They are able to store a huge amount of carbon, but they are able to absorb huge amount of carbon with them. Okay. Like for example, an adult tree or a typical tree, एक normal size का कोई भी tree, it absorbs about 21 kilograms of carbon dioxide per year. Okay. So you can imagine how much they're able to store carbon within themselves. Okay. So 21 kilograms they're able to take up per year in the form of carbon dioxide. Okay. So that's why we are calling them as storehouses of carbon. Okay. So oceans in general, they are the largest storehouse of carbon. After oceans, the forests are the second most or second largest storehouse of carbon, because the amount of water bodies, or let's say the amount of livable space in earth is comparatively less. More than a huge percentage of the earth is covered by oceans. So ultimately they are the higher storehouse of carbon as compared to forest, and the forest comes second. So after all, we can write now, after oceans, forest are the second largest storehouse of carbon. For example, a typical tree can absorb up to 21 kgs of CO2. Okay, a typical tree can absorb up to 21 kilograms of carbon dioxide per year. Then we have it is also a source of food as well as medicine. There are various type of medicinal plants or active molecules that are mostly discovered from plant sources, or there are many medicinal, or there are many molecules of medicine that have medicinal property, which are derived from sources of plants, okay, or which were derived from molecules that were ultimately obtained from many different types of plants, okay. So you can say that even right now there's a lot of even in the state in the northeastern area, it is said that there are lots of medicinal plants that are yet to be discovered, and most of not I mean all of us being from the pharma background, there's a lot of research that are still going on, or even in most of the project works that you'll take up in the coming semesters. When you will be taking up a lot of project work, you will see, or you will notice that almost um, almost 50, over 50% of those project works that are being undertaken by scholars, whether it be on graduate level or postgraduate level or even in PhD level, most of them are based on plant sources, or most of them are based on molecules that were obtained from plants. So there's a huge potential for this field, I mean, okay. So I can say this as the source of food and medicine. Okay. So this is the overall importance we have discussed today. Okay. I don't think there will be any confusion here, because it's very simple. You can write this on your own. It's just like a revision of your years of study and
Sir, it is a
general knowledge.
complete one.
Yes.
Sir, number 6 point and number 9 point. Can you please explain, sir?
Okay. 9.
Yes,
Employment.
sir. 6 and
Employment.
yes, sir.
Okay. You mean number 9?
Yes, sir. Number 6 and number 9.
Number 6 and number 9. Okay. So first 6 here we are talking about employment opportunities. Like for example, me and you, or people in, or I'm talking about people here. Okay. I'm talking about people here. Like let's say there is paper industry, right? Paper mill वगैरह. So those they rely on those raw materials, they rely on forest resources, right? So ultimately they are getting employment opportunity. उनको employment मिल रहा है from ultimately that employment opportunity जो उनको मिल रहा है, it is because of the resources, right? Right. Now let's say in the entire country, if such ऐसा बहुत सारा सब लोग अगर या to some extent किसी एक परसेंटेज के पॉपुलेशन को अगर मिल जाता है इस टाइप के एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज, देन ओवरऑल जो कंट्री है उसका कुछ some percentage of development will be there, right? हाँ. So वो कौन सा होगा? इधर ऊपर 6 नंबर जो पॉइंट है, इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट, राइट? है नहीं उसका लिविंग, उसका एक्सपेंड करने का पावर इंक्रीज होगा, living style may be better, so those will fall under what? This is economic development, right? Clear?
सर मतलब दोनों सेम नहीं है ये दोनों पॉइंट?
No, it's not.
Okay.
And anyone else? Okay, then.
Okay, sir.
We'll end this here, okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, bye-bye. Take care.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.